This is my audience and my dog. Hello, bud. Here you go. Not every hero wears capes. Not every hero lives up to the ideal expectations that the kids have of them. But the heroes that fall and seem to fail at their goals, but try to find the courage to pick themselves up and try again, often have a greater impact than they originally did. I'm going to talk about a man who went from a hero status to zero status because of a poor choice that left him surrounded by controversy and turmoil, but recognizing the down spiral his life was going towards, he sought support to attempt to get back on track. This man is no other than Johnny Manziel. We will talk about his role in putting Texas A&M football back on the map and his demise from too much fame and fortune as a young man, as he attempts through difficulties and went through so much negativity he went through, and to regain the respect of people who had followed him many years before. My parents have always brought me to Aggie football games, but there's nothing like the Aggies football games that went on during the 2012 and 2013 season, or 2014 season while Johnny Manziel was there. As a 12-year-old kid in 6th grade, I remember sitting at Kyle Field watching Johnny football, and he would maneuver through the defense like a deer, and there's someone I've always aspired to be like and how I would always play athletically when I played sports. Johnny was raised in Kerrville, Texas, and came to Texas A&M as a highly decorated prep player in high school. It did not take long for him to become a highly decorated Aggie football player and college player as well. His redshirt freshman year, Johnny Manziel won the Heisman Trophy, and he actually was one of the first freshmen to win it and only the second Aggie to ever win the trophy. Johnny received more than 150 first-place votes for the trophy and was record-setting seating his freshman year at Texas A&M. The victory over number 1 Alabama in 2012 was what put him on track to be his Heisman football game. Even though he only played at Texas A&M for 2 years, his impact of Aggie football in Kyle Field will forever be there. In September of 2013, the Texas A&M commit Johnny set a record of $740 million fundraising for the previous year, which is more than $300 million better than any other 12-month period. And the numbers Manziel put up in the 2 seasons is better than anyone has ever put up. He threw up 7,820 passing yards, and he also ran for 2,169 rushing yards, and combined for a total of 93 touchdowns. And I remember the last game Johnny ever played, I was there in the stadium, and it was as if nobody wanted to leave. We all chanted one more year, and the band played it when Johnny comes marching to town. But the impact Manziel had on Texas A&M during this is immeasurable, and we all knew he was going to leave because the last game he sat in the crowd and saw him off with the crowd, knowing that he'd never play another game at Kyle Field. As everyone watched and read about Johnny's every move, it's not surprising that a young kid at college who reached fame as quick as he did would mess up like he did. In June of 2012, Johnny found himself in College Station headlines for using a fake ID and fighting on Northgate. Had this been the first and last of his bad decisions, Johnny would have had avoided much of the controversy that quickly came upon his life. In July 2013, he began a series of later no-shows to his NFL practices, which led him a ticket home. In August of 2013, an NCAA investigation was launched to determine if Johnny was selling his signature for multiple thousands of dollars. There were no harsh consequences for these accusations because of lack of evidence. He did have to sit out the first half of the season opener against Rice, though. He was drafted by the Cleveland Browns, but his job on the team would not last very long. Soon after Johnny's hard work on the field is questioned, he received times for showing up late to team meetings and being very inappropriate at games. After 3 years of absence, Johnny began training and signed a contract with the CFL to play for the Hamilton Tiger Cats and later the Montreal Alouettes. But his bad habits would surface again, and he was released for being unable to abide by terms and team policies. However, in the midst of all the troubles, there have been bright spots where Johnny had made and continued to make efforts to become better and make himself a better person. In February of 2015, John realized that his problems were bigger than him, and he entered a rehab center. In the press conference, media sources reported that Johnny Manziel was truly aware of his issues according to his lifestyles, and he has declared a desire to get better throughout life. His struggle did not end after the rehab, though. According to Kevin Sherrington, a writer for the Dallas News, Johnny was admitted to substance abuse and bipolar disorder. He believes Manziel would never play football again. However, John disagrees. In June of 2019, Johnny expressed interest in playing in the XFL League and for either Houston or Dallas. Back in 2015, Skip Bias said Jerry Jones badly wanted Johnny Manziel to get drafted to the Dallas Cowboys, and he thought that if Johnny would have drafted there, he would have had a lot better career in the NFL. There are many hopeful fans that hope that Johnny will one day return to playing football where we can all watch him again. Manziel has largely squandered talent and opportunity affected him. He is still young and 26-year-old and potential future ahead of him. You can turn on the television, scan a radio, or even search the web, and if you even search for the word football, it's very likely that Johnny Manziel's name will come up. He's a player that you may love or hate, but many would love to see him recover and come back to football. Johnny Manziel's collegiate entrance marks an impressionable time in his life and his beginning of an athletic career and the beginning of my athletic career in middle school. His impact and legacy at Texas A&M will live on regardless of his future. As the adage goes, you have to take the good with the bad, and I choose to remember the good in Johnny, even though if you may remember the bad. We're now going to ask the questions of this part of the essay or speech.
Were you ever able to meet Johnny Manziel in person?
No, I never did meet him. I saw him at a gas station one time, but I didn't want to go say hi.
What's your favorite game Johnny ever played in?
My favorite game was his redshirt freshman year when he played against Alabama, and they beat them at Alabama. What's your question?
What was your favorite memory of Johnny Manziel?
My favorite memory is when we were beating a team so bad and he went out to kick a field goal and he missed the first time, but then he went to kick another one and he made it.
Dude's a legend.